There was this thing that we would do when we were younger, where we would go to our mother and be like, "Who do you think I am?" And she would tell us who she thought we were, and we would go into life saying that's who we were. Hey, you guys, my name is Brianna, and here on my channel, we talk about God, we talk about that truth, and we talk about bettering ourselves. And today I'm going to be getting into the story where I had to confront my narcissistic parents. This is a touchy topic, so let me go ahead and take a deep breath. So, you guys, in this video, I'm not looking to disrespect my parent because the Bible does say honor your mother and father. So, I'm looking to be very respectful, just like I was very respectful on the day that I confronted my parent. I'm just looking to give you guys an example, give you guys a story that you can relate to, see that if your parent does not have your best interest, is looking to basically force you to follow them instead of follow God, it is 100% okay to grow apart. Right when I had woke up, I was at my own apartment, but I was becoming a flight attendant. You know, when you become a flight attendant, they uproot your life. You don't know where you're going to be based. So it's kind of pointless to have an apartment. So I'm like, all right, cool. I only got a month before I go to training. My lease is up. So I'm going to have to give this lease up and go stay with family. She didn't want me to come, I think, because my family is they do a lot of gossiping. And I feel like it was also in the talks that I didn't want to be around them. But it was like no disrespect. I'm more healthy away from y'all. But of course, as a narcissist, she took that as 100% disrespect. So my mother stays in the house with all my sisters. And how that works is everybody's emotions and the way that they treat you is controlled by my mother. If she's on good terms with you, if she wants to treat you nice, everybody's treating you nice. If she's against you and she's not feeling you, everybody's going to treat you mean. And when she gets home, she sees that I'm very sad, everybody's emotions are switched towards me. And I remember that initial day that I was there, the first day I was there, she had like two talks to me where she was basically trying to check my temperature, like see where I was at with her, see how I felt about her. And I wasn't looking at everything as positive. I was still like, hey, we can everything's forgiven, but we're going to talk about it and we're going to say what it was and admit to what it was. We're not going to act like it's a fairy tale and pretend that something's not what it is. After she checked my temperature and it wasn't what she wanted, she switched my siblings back to being rude to me. So they were being very nasty to me, gaslighting the mess out of me. And then I'm just like sitting there watching it like, wow, this is some true evil. Like, y'all are sitting here trying to prep me and prepare me to fall in line. She was also doing her little test every time to check and see if I had basically changed my mind to worship her. Y'all, it's like I'm seeing everything you're doing. I'm seeing you go in the room and talk to a sibling and they come back out and mess with me. And I'm just watching and I'm not even really getting upset with my siblings because I see that they're flying monkeys. I see that it's not them, it's her. And I think she noticed that too. It was a lot of spiritual like understanding between us, like spiritual understanding to where she's seeing that I was up on game, that it was her, that it was the problem. It's crazy because I seen that she was still doing these meetings with them. There was this thing that we would do when we were younger where we would go to our mother and be like, "Who do you think I am?" And she would tell us who she thought we were, and we would go into life saying that's who we were. And this was still happening. Y'all, my siblings are not children, they're adults. At this time, the youngest one had to be at least 24. How controlling is that? Y'all, I was walking to the gym, like 2 miles to the gym every day because nobody would give me a ride. I was starving a majority of the time. Like they were starving me. Like they would do little things where they would they always ate out and they would go grocery shopping and they would have all this food in the refrigerator that they wouldn't eat. There was no grocery store that was like close for me to walk to. Also, I ran out of money. I didn't have much money, but you think that when you go to your parents' house when you're down and out, you would be okay. But it would like they would make the biggest deal when I would eat like one little thing, but when it would be any one of them, it was 100% okay. So I was like barely eating, or I would like in the middle of the night, like my stomach was hurting so bad that I would go eat something, and then they would make the biggest deal about it the next day. But then if you sit there and went spoiled, they wouldn't say anything. So it comes a time to where it's one of my sisters' party that she's gonna have for her birthday. When I was about to go to the gym, she was just like acting like she was just so sad that I wasn't about to go to her party. Like, you're not gonna come to the party? Oh my gosh, you need to come to my party. But you've been treating me like dirt. So the night of the party of my sister, we end up going out, and my phone got stolen. So I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So my mother brings it to me. She was just like, we have Verizon. All of us are on one line. I can just add you to the line and you just pay the bill. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that would be super duper helpful. So she just like basically said that. She's like, all right, cool, we'll do that. And so like that night I like went into use my computer to go into looking up how I could how to get the phone, how it would happen, how quickly it could happen. And I set it up to where I could simply all she had to do was drive me to Verizon the next day, and I can go pick up my phone. And so I text her through the text app on my computer and was like, hey, I figured everything out. I set everything up. All we gotta do is go pick up the phone tomorrow. She was like, all right, cool. We'll go pick it up when I get off work. So y'all, after that, she started playing this game where she did it for shoot, at least like a week of, oh, I'm tired today. We'll go the next day. Oh, I'm tired today. Let me look it up. I actually want to make sure that everything's okay with getting this phone. So I'm gonna look it up myself. And I remember that day she was like she was sitting on the couch, she was like looking it up, and then she stopped looking, and then she like went in her room to go lay down. So I'm just there sitting on the couch, her room was right next to the living room. So her door she left her door open, and I'm just like sitting there waiting for her while she's looking it up. She's like, you could come in here. And y'all, it wasn't like just something simple where she was just like wanting me to like come chill with her. It was like basically like come in here and be my little puppy while I do something for you. And y'all, there's nothing wrong with bonding. The problem is you want me to bond in a way where I'm worshiping you. You don't want to just you don't want a mother daughter relationship where we're open and honest with each other. You want a mother daughter relationship where everything you do is 100% okay and 100% right. You were the best person in the world. You can do nothing wrong. I sat in there for a little bit, and then like nothing was I could tell it wasn't a mission to get something done. It was just something to sit there and play with me. So I got up and I walked out, and that was the end of the night, y'all. She didn't even try to convince me that she was even trying. Like I could just tell she was upset that I didn't stay in the room with her. But I'm just like, everything that's going on here, everything I see you doing, I don't want to sit in here with you in for what? So I'm not gonna lie, I started getting more irritated the more she kept doing little things like that, because it was just like she was playing with me, kept like getting my hopes up high that she was gonna go get the phone that day, and then it set up these little failed missions where it wouldn't happen. Like there was one time when she was off and she was like, we'll go get the phone today, and she was like, me and one of your siblings gotta go run some errands first, so we're gonna go do that first, and then we'll go get the phone. So I went with them to go run errands, like long errands, y'all. We were like driving for a long time. I'm just sitting in the back of the car with them for long periods of time. I'm sitting in the car waiting for them in stores and stuff. And then we didn't even end up going. She was like, oh, it didn't got late. We're not gonna go today. We can't go today. I think it's actually closed today. I think the Verizon is closed today. I also needed some clothes for being a flight attendant, and you have to have a certain dress code. So I asked her if she could help me by getting me some clothes from the thrift store so I can have something to wear at training. And she was like, yeah, you're just gonna have to pay me back. I'm gonna set up a whole payment plan. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm not tripping on that. I'm about to be making bread anyway. She takes me to go get the clothes, and you could tell that while we're shopping, she's being so fakely nice. And you could tell she's actually super duper annoyed that I got something out of her. We're riding back from the thrift store. And as we're riding back, she tries to set up a little conference to tell me who I am. She was like, you make a judgment on somebody, or you make a conclusion of who somebody is, and you're like 100% wrong all the time. That's what she told me. And y'all, that irritated me so bad, because I'm just sitting here like, now that I'm even thinking about it, you were just trying to basically make me rethink everything that you've done in this short amount of time that I've been around you and think that I'm wrong for thinking what is actually happening and make me like sit there and be confused about my feelings about you because I see that you really got some demonic ways and it's really disgusting. And I'm like your only child that really calls you out on it. So you're trying to get a hold on it by telling me that have, I don't know how to judge people. So I just get quiet because I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because I want to go to this Verizon store. And you could tell that kind of irritated her, but she was just quiet. So we get to the Verizon store and y'all, we basically get, it took seconds to get this phone. And she was so irritated, y'all. Like so mad. When we get back to the house after I got these clothes and this phone, I'm like, I wasn't supposed to be in my little sister's room, but I went in there because I was drained from dealing with her all day. So it was only me and her in the house. And that's when she acted the most crazy. Like there was one time when we got back to the house, it was just me and her. I I would always just go for like a walk, even though I was walking so much to working in the gym. I would just like go for a walk to get away from them. And there was one time she like locked me out. There was one time when she was just acting psycho one morning, and I had to get up early for work, and so she had got up early for work that morning and gave me a ride and was like driving like she was going to crash the car and just driving like a psycho. And then when I just like looked like she just looked like a whole demon. And when I got out the car, I was like, thank you. And she didn't even say it. Like she looked so irritated that I said thank you. So I end up leaving. Mother drops me off at the airport. Honestly, it seems like everybody's relieved that I'm gone. I ended up failing at that training. So I had to go back to my mother's house. And y'all, I was crying and stuff. And I was like more so crying that I had to go back there. And y'all, when they would see me crying after coming back from that training, they did not care. They were treating me the exact same, even though I was like really like I was like a broken bird. There was even one time where I'm sitting there crying in the living room. I like open up about it a little bit, and she like comes and rubs my back, and then like I sent like I got a little happy, like more joyful in the moment, and y'all, I seen like the look on her face, like she got so angry when I like felt a little better. Y'all, it really creeped me out because it's like, what the heck? We got to the point again where she told me again who I was. So she starts with telling me about her childhood. Now she has a childhood. Then she eases in telling me that I don't have a good judgment on people again. And as she's doing that, I just kind of like I'm fed up. I'm just like, that's not me. I don't do that. And y'all, that irritated her so much. And she was like, oh, okay then. All right then. And so that's like kind of where the conversation ended. Like, stop telling me who I am. I'm not a kid. Stop trying to tell me what I do and how I move and how I am and what I think and what I feel. So I was really irritated by this, y'all. Like it was just bothering me because I kind of was like fighting with it a little bit. Like, is that me? Because I'm one. I'll check myself. Like, is it me? Like, am I driven? Is it me? But no. And for this to be your mother trying to manipulate you and tell you who you are, and it's not even who you are, that's some true psycho stuff. So I was real live irritated. And I'm just being quiet about it and just like kind of stewing on it. Then I look up online on Google. I'm like, Google, what does it mean when your parent tries to tell you who you are? And it's a whole bunch of stuff about narcissists popped up. And I'm like, what's that? So I look at the definition. I'm like, That's where I found out about the flying monkeys. I'm like, So I knew what it was. I knew she was basically using them as puppets, but I didn't know that this is a regular thing that they do. Huh. And so a lot of people like on Reddit and stuff was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. Like that is not your mother should not be telling you who you are. I found this video. I found a YouTube video, and I'll place it right here if I can find it for you guys. Where she's talking about her narcissistic mother and everything the same as me. If not, my situation a little bit worse. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm kind of just like holding that in, like holding that to myself, like, wow. And I'm just kind of observing them even more. And I'm just like, so tension was building between all of us, especially like that young, the young narcissistic one. There was a time she texted me, you have a piece of clothing or something like that? And I was like, no, I don't. So when I get back to the house, she had already snitched my mother, telling her that I was irritated with her. So right when I get in the house, my mother comes out her room, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, we need to have a talk. And I was like, why? I was like, I really don't want to have a talk. I want to have a place to stay. So I'd rather just not talk. And y'all, I was saying that because I'm going to be 100% respectful with you, but you're any ounce of truth or honesty you take as like the most disrespect that anybody has ever disrespected you. So I'd rather just be quiet. And yes, it's coming out in passive aggressive because I'm super duper annoyed because y'all won't leave me alone, but y'all are being aggressive. So I'm like, no, I want a place to stay. I don't feel like doing all that. I ain't got nothing to say. And she was just like, no, we need to have a talk. So she sat down on the couch while I was sitting down on the little couch similar to this. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So she just starts talking. And she was just like, yeah, the girls been coming to me and they just feel like they don't want to feel like there's somebody being aggressive with them in their own home. They feel like you're being aggressive. I was like, huh, me? So she stopped with that one because it's just like it was laughable. It was 100% laughable. And she was just like asking me what my plan was, and I'm just like, I'm already on job number 2. I am trying to get gone. I'm trying to get up out of here as soon as possible. That's all I kept saying. As soon as possible. A day or so before that, I had seen this video of this woman. She was like preaching or doing a service or something like that, and she was like, "There's gonna come a point in time in your life where demonic people are gonna be all up on you, and you're just gonna have to make like eye contact with them and show them that you're not playing, and that eye contact is gonna say enough." When we first start the conversation, she's kind of like hounding me like with what she's saying, and I'm kind of just like looking around like, oh my god, it's like, not really doing much. And then like when she said something that was like a lie on me, I like looked at her and we made like serious eye contact, and she kind of like got out of the eye contact like, yeah, I know I'm tripping. I know I'm wrong for trying to force that thought on you when we both know it's a lie type situation. So she wouldn't leave me alone. So we just got into the conversation. And it started out with me telling her like, do you not see how controlling you are? I was like, we've all grown up. Like I was like, you could tell one of us that you don't like a celebrity. Like you could be like, I don't like Beyonce. Then we would all be like, we don't like Beyonce. I was like, that's not normal, y'all. All of us don't like Keisha Cole to this day because she said that she didn't like Keisha Cole one time. So I'm just like looking at her when she's like, "You can't, you're against influence. I have influence. That's not a good idea." And I'm just looking like, okay, bro, we gonna act like that's what it is. So I'm just like quiet because I'm just like, you know what you're doing is wrong. And then also like it kind of went into, that you're sitting here controlling your kids, and this is the reason why they're acting the way you're acting. And that's what I was saying. I was just like, all this that's going on, like all the way that they're treating me. I was like, it's coming from you. And she kept with the influence stuff. You mind influence? I was like, no. She was like, oh, it's coming from. I'm like, yes, it's coming from you. They're doing all this to me, and I was just like, it's not even them. I was like, it's you. You're the reason why they're acting like that. Also, I was like, when I was describing her and my narcissistic sibling, that my youngest sister, when I was describing their relationship, when she was talking about what happened in a situation, I was like, that's not even that serious. Like, we're not kids. Why are you coming to her defense about something that's so small? Like I did something to this girl. Like I did anything that they have been doing to me, to this little girl. And I was just like, you got conditional love. Like she treats my, because she's prepped my little sister since she was a young. Basically, like you're just like me, and saying that she liked her so much because she's just like her. And my little sister never steps out of a line. That's why I was trying so hard to help her, because she is turning into a narcissist trying to be like this woman, and it's dangerous, y'all. Like she's really ruining that girl. And because everybody else is all stood their ground and in some type of way, they all kind of fell after they did it, because I know they didn't have God when they did it. But she's the only one that's never stepped out of line, never stood up for herself, never seen my mother in a bad light ever. And I was telling her, for that very reason, I was like, you got conditional love. Like you won't show love to certain children that are not falling in line. And I was like, that's conditional love. Also, y'all, this is the first time I ever experienced sensing monitoring spirits. Like my siblings were all in their rooms while I was sitting there talking to my mother, or while she confronted me, and then I had to confront her. She, they were like listening hard from their rooms, y'all, and I could sense it. I could feel it. She tried to take the conversation into, once again, I had kids at 15 at a young age. I've had such a hard life, and started trying to cry. She didn't even really cry. It was just like she was looking down like she was about to cry, but she never cried. And so I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I smiled because I was just like, I had been doing research on narcissists, so I was knowing that that's something that they do when they ain't got nothing else to pull out their bag. You lying. You're acting, and you're trying to get sympathy from a situation. Like, why are we twisting the conversation into about your childhood again? So I don't remember if I actually chuckled, but I know I smiled for a fact. Like, lady, please stop it, because my childhood was bad, and I can't even say my childhood was bad without it being a problem for you. And so when she noticed that that didn't work, y'all, she got angry. And that's when she was basically like, you need to, she's not going to say it directly because it looks bad on her image to kick one of her children out. So she was basically like saying it in a vague way, but you know what she's saying. Basically, you need to hurry up and get all your stuff together so you can go. And she kept trying to end it with, because I'm not the only one living here. No, you want me gone too. The only reason not that they want me gone and they're not liking me is because of you. I was just like, okay. And what I noticed, y'all, from that too is standing up to her when it was made, attempted to be made impossible, or something that you just don't do. You could stand up and also speak up about yourself in the most respectful way. And people take it disrespectfully because people don't like that truth. But that made me grow. That made me want to stand up for myself more in more situations. Be stand on business when it comes to me. Stand on business when it comes to the truth. Because I mean that's and then what it's all this is all about, me finding God to help others find God. But yeah, that's all I have to say, y'all. I can't pull nothing else out the bag. Like ouch. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.